What if I told you that everything you've been trying so hard to change in your life, your bank account, your relationship status, your career, is actually locked in place by an invisible force that has nothing to do with your actions, your thoughts, or even your vision board? Here's a controversial truth that will challenge everything you've been taught about manifestation. You can't attract a new reality while you're still operating from the identity of the person who created your old one. The universe isn't responding to what you want. It's responding to who you are. And until you change your being, your doing is useless. Most people are stuck in a frustrating loop, trying to fix their external world with external actions, wondering why they keep getting the same results. It's like trying to upgrade your life's software while running it on outdated hardware. It's destined to crash. The painful paradox is that the very identity you're comfortable with is the cage keeping you from the life you crave. But here's the quick win I can promise you. The moment you stop trying to get what you want and start being the person who already has it, you collapse time and make your manifestations appear faster than you ever thought possible. If you're tired of feeling like your dreams are perpetually on the horizon, if you're ready to stop performing for a reality you don't want and start embodying the one you do, then everything is about to change. Because today, I'm going to show you how to make the quantum self shift from wanting to having, and why fully embodying your future self is the only key that will ever unlock the door to the life that's been waiting for you all along. There's this maddening feeling of being perpetually stuck, like you're separated from the life you desire by an invisible glass wall. You can see it, you can feel it, you can almost taste it, but every time you reach for it, you hit that same unseen barrier, leaving you frustrated and wondering what you're doing wrong. This hidden block isn't a lack of effort or a flaw in your manifestation technique. It's the stubborn, comfortable identity of your past self refusing to let go because it's terrified of the unknown. Your soul is trying to expand into a new reality, but your old identity is pumping the brakes, whispering that it's safer to stay in the familiar pain of what you know than to risk the uncertainty of what you could become. This internal tug-of-war is what keeps your manifestations in a perpetual state of almost here, always just out of reach. Most people don't realize that their manifestations are being held hostage by their old identity, which acts like an energetic gatekeeper, only allowing in experiences that match its outdated programming. You might be consciously affirming abundance, but if your identity is still rooted in scarcity, that gatekeeper will turn away any opportunity that doesn't align with the story of not enough. This is why you can do all the vision boards and journaling in the world, but if you haven't done the deeper work to embody your higher self, you'll keep attracting circumstances that reflect who you've been, not who you're becoming. The block isn't external. It's the internal conflict between your conscious desires and your subconscious identity, and that conflict creates an energetic static that confuses the universe. The most frustrating part is that this block feels so real and insurmountable because it operates from your blind spots, using your own logic against you to justify why you can't have what you want. It tells you stories about why you're not ready, not worthy, or not capable, and because these stories are so familiar, you believe them without question. But here's the secret that unlocks everything. The block isn't actually a wall, it's a shadow, and the moment you turn on the light of awareness by recognizing that a different version of you already exists, that shadow begins to dissolve. This realization is the key that opens the door to understanding a profound truth about how reality is actually created. Here's a concept that will fundamentally shift how you see yourself and your potential. The version of you who already has everything you desire isn't a fantasy you need to create. They exist right now, in the quantum field of infinite possibilities, fully formed and waiting for you to tune into their frequency. Think of the quantum field as a massive library of potential realities, each containing a different version of you living out a different timeline. The version of you who is a successful entrepreneur, the version who is in a deeply loving relationship, the version who is a picture of health and vitality. They're all real and they're accessible to you in any moment. The only thing separating you from them isn't time or effort, but a simple matter of energetic alignment. Your current reality is just the version of you that you've been most consistently focused on and identified with up until now. This is the core principle behind manifestation through identity. You don't attract what you want. You experience the reality of who you are being. The version of you who has it operates on a completely different frequency than the version of you who is wanting it. The wanting you vibrates at the frequency of lack and separation, while the having you vibrates at the frequency of wholeness and completion. Your job isn't to build a bridge between these two realities, but to realize that you can simply shift your energetic signature to match the reality you prefer to experience. It's like changing the channel on a TV. The other shows are still playing, but you're only experiencing the one you've tuned into. The implications of this are staggering, because it means you can stop striving and start aligning, stop chasing and start being. The version of you who has it all isn't better or more worthy than you are. They've simply made different choices, hold different beliefs, and embody a different energetic state. By studying this version of yourself, imagining how they think, feel, and act, you can begin to consciously embody your higher self and make their frequency your own. This isn't about faking it. It's about accessing a real aspect of your multidimensional consciousness, which leads us to a crucial understanding of how your powerful subconscious mind actually operates. Your conscious mind is the captain of the ship, shouting out orders about where you want to go. But your subconscious mind is the massive, powerful crew that actually controls the engines and steers the vessel. Here's the catch. The crew doesn't respond to the captain's verbal commands. It only responds to the ship's official identity papers. If your conscious mind is yelling, "I want to go to Abundance Island," but your subconscious identity papers say, "This ship is registered to Scarcity Harbor," the crew will ignore the captain and keep steering you back to what it knows as home. Your subconscious mind's primary job is to keep you consistent with who you believe you are, not to fulfill who you wish you were. It's a system designed for survival through consistency, not for expansion through desire. This is why traditional affirmations and positive thinking often fail to create lasting change. You're essentially just shouting new orders at a crew that's programmed to follow a completely different set of instructions. True manifestation through identity happens when you stop trying to change the crew's behavior and start updating the ship's official identity papers. When you fundamentally shift who you believe you are at the core level, when you decide, "I am someone who is naturally abundant," instead of "I want to be abundant," you're giving your subconscious crew a new set of instructions that it will work tirelessly to follow. This is the essence of a quantum self-shift, changing your core identity so that your subconscious mind automatically starts steering you toward experiences that match that new identity. The beautiful thing is that your subconscious is incredibly literal and doesn't care whether your new identity is realistic or not. It only cares about what you consistently impress upon it with feeling and repetition. When you repeatedly feel into the energy of your future self, when you consistently make decisions from their perspective, you're literally rewriting your identity papers in real time. Your subconscious starts to accept this new identity as its new home, and then it does what it does best. It works 24/7 to create a reality that perfectly matches this new programming, which naturally leads to the understanding that you must stop waiting for change and start being the change. You've probably heard the advice to act as if you already have what you want. And while the intention behind it is good, it's a dangerously incomplete instruction that often leads to frustration and burnout. Acting as if is like putting on a costume and reciting lines from a script. You might look the part and say the right words, but if your internal energy doesn't match the character you're playing, everyone, including the universe, can feel the inauthenticity. It's the energetic equivalent of wearing a millionaire's suit while your heart is pounding with scarcity anxiety. Your actions might say, "I'm successful," but your frequency is screaming, "I'm terrified, I'm not good enough," and reality always responds to the deeper, more honest signal. The missing piece isn't the action, it's the energetic alignment that makes the action a natural expression of who you are. The shift from acting as if to being is the most crucial step in this entire process. Being isn't a performance, it's an embodiment. When you truly embody your higher self, you're not pretending to be confident. You are confident at a cellular level, and your actions naturally flow from that state of being. You don't have to remember to act abundant when you are abundant consciousness itself. This is why you must stop waiting for external circumstances to give you permission to feel how you want to feel. You don't need the money in the bank to embody the frequency of security and flow. You don't need the partner by your side to embody the frequency of love and worthiness. You claim the feeling first. You embody the identity now, and then you let your actions be the natural overflow of that embodied state. This is where the real power of manifestation through identity lies. It's not about what you do, but the energy from which you do it. You can take the exact same action from two different frequencies and get wildly different results. For example, networking from a place of trying to get something feels needy and repels opportunities, while networking from a place of being a valuable connection feels magnetic and attracts collaborations. The action is the same, but the identity behind the action is completely different. So the question isn't, what do I need to do? The question is, who do I need to be? Which naturally leads to the practical application of how to embody this new state first, before you expect to see any changes in your outer world. The sequence of creation is always the same. Embody the energy first and then receive the physical manifestation second. The universe doesn't deliver your desires to make you feel fulfilled. It delivers experiences that match the fulfillment you are already embodying. This means your daily practices should be less about asking for things and more about becoming the person who naturally has them. A powerful and simple practice to start with is what I call identity priming. Each morning, before you even check your phone or get out of bed, spend 5 minutes feeling into the energy of the already you, the version of you who is living your desired reality. Don't just visualize it, feel it in your body. How do they breathe? What is their heart rate like? What is the dominant feeling in their emotional body? Is it peace, excitement, gratitude, or ease? Another transformative daily practice is decision-making from the future. Throughout your day, whenever you're faced with a choice, big or small, pause and ask yourself, what would the version of me who already has everything I desire choose in this situation? This simple question shifts you out of your current limited perspective and into the expanded consciousness of your higher self. Maybe the old you would choose the cheaper option out of fear, but the abundant you chooses the option that aligns with quality and value. Perhaps the old you would stay silent in a meeting, but the confident you speaks up with clarity. Every time you make a choice from this place, you are casting a vote for your new identity and performing a quantum self-shift in real time. To anchor this even more deeply, you can incorporate physical movement. For instance, you could create a future self-power pose, a specific posture that you associate with your empowered identity. Drawing inspiration from the work of social psychologist Amy Cuddy, stand in this pose for 2 minutes and feel the hormonal and energetic shift in your body. Or you could put on a piece of music that makes you feel unstoppable and dance like the person who has already achieved their dreams. These practices aren't just about feeling good. They are about using your physical body as an anchor to retrain your nervous system and subconscious mind to accept your new identity as your default state of being. Shifting into your future self's frequency is one thing. Maintaining it amidst the challenges and triggers of your current reality is where the real mastery lies. This is where energetic anchoring comes in, creating conscious, intentional triggers that instantly pull you back into your desired state of being whenever you feel yourself slipping. An anchor is like a shortcut to your highest frequency. It can be a physical object, a specific word, a scent, a piece of music, or a physical gesture that you have charged with the energy of your fulfilled self. The key is to create the anchor when you are already in a peak state of embodiment, so the anchor becomes a powerful container for that specific vibration. For example, you could take a small, smooth stone and hold it in your hand while you are deep in your identity priming meditation, flooding it with the feelings of success, love, and peace. Then you can carry this stone in your pocket throughout the day. Whenever you feel stress, doubt, or old patterns creeping in, you simply touch the stone, and that physical sensation will trigger the energetic state you anchored into it, allowing you to perform a rapid quantum self-shift. Similarly, you could choose a specific powerful word like unstoppable or limitless, and say it to yourself, either out loud or internally, whenever you need to reconnect with the energy of your higher self. The repetition of these anchors strengthens the neural pathways associated with your new identity. The practice of energetic anchoring is what makes manifestation through identity a sustainable lifestyle rather than a fleeting experience. It gives you the practical tools to navigate the gap between your inner transformation and your outer reality's reflection of that change. Think of it like a sailor using a compass to constantly reorient themselves toward their destination, no matter how stormy the seas get. Your anchors are your compass, always pointing you back to the frequency of who you are becoming. The more you use them, the more stable your new frequency becomes and the less power your old reality has to pull you back into familiar patterns. As you practice embodying your new identity, it's inevitable that your old self will try to make a comeback. It's like a familiar ghost that haunts the hallways of your mind, trying to convince you that nothing has really changed. Recognizing the signs of slipping back is crucial, because awareness is the first step to course correction. A major sign is a shift in your internal dialogue. You might notice yourself falling back into old complaint loops, making excuses, or using limiting language like "I can't" or "it's too hard." Another sign is physical, a familiar tension in your shoulders, a shallow breath, or a feeling of heaviness in your chest can all indicate that you've slipped back into the frequency of your old, contracted self. Another subtle but powerful sign is when you start future tripping or past tripping, obsessively worrying about what might go wrong or replaying old hurts and disappointments. Your fulfilled higher self lives predominantly in the present moment, operating from a place of trust and flow. When you find your mind hijacked by anxiety about the future or regret about the past, it's a clear signal that the old identity, which thrives on fear and control, has taken the wheel again. The key is to catch these patterns without judgment, seeing them not as failures, but simply as notifications from your internal GPS that you've taken a wrong turn and need to recalibrate your frequency. The moment you recognize you're slipping, you can course correct instantly with a simple 3-step process. Acknowledge, breathe, and choose. First, acknowledge the pattern without criticism. There's that old story of not being good enough. Second, take 3 deep conscious breaths to interrupt the pattern and bring yourself back to the present moment. And third, consciously choose to re-embody your higher self. You might use one of your energetic anchors. Ask, "What would my future self do right now?" Or simply declare, "I am choosing to be the version of me that is peaceful, powerful, and prosperous." This instant course correction is a powerful way to practice a quantum self-shift and reinforces that you are in charge of your identity, not the other way around. The ultimate destination of this journey is to arrive at a state of living from completion, a profound inner knowing that you are already whole, already worthy, and already everything you desire to be, regardless of what your external circumstances currently look like. This isn't about arrogance or delusion. It's a deep, peaceful trust that arises when you have so fully embodied your new identity that the gap between you and your desires has energetically dissolved. From this state, you stop manifesting from a place of lack or need and start creating from a place of overflow. Your actions are no longer driven by a desperate attempt to get something, but by a joyful impulse to express the abundance that you already are. When you live from completion, you release the attachment to how and when your desires will manifest, because you're no longer dependent on them for your sense of fulfillment. You've already given yourself the feeling of wholeness through your inner work to embody your higher self. This energetic detachment is ironically the very thing that accelerates manifestation, because you're no longer putting out the resistant, needy vibration that pushes your desires away. You move through the world with a calm confidence, a playful curiosity, and a deep trust that the universe is orchestrating everything for your highest good, and life begins to surprise and delight you in ways you couldn't have planned or imagined. This is the pinnacle of manifestation through identity. Your external world becomes a beautiful, delayed mirror of the inner reality you have so consistently and lovingly cultivated. You stop checking the mirror to see if it has changed, and instead focus on tending to the inner landscape, knowing the reflection will take care of itself. Life stops being a battle to be won and becomes a dance to be enjoyed. You have chosen your wholeness. You are living from that completion, and now you get to watch with wonder as the world around you rearranges itself to perfectly mirror the magnificent truth of who you have finally allowed yourself to be. So, let's get real for a moment. Who have you been being every single day? Have you been embodying the version of you who is stressed, struggling, and waiting for life to get better? Or have you been embodying the version of you who is already peaceful, prosperous, and powerful? This isn't a trick question. It's the most important question you will ever answer, because your reality is a direct printout of your most consistent state of being. The power to change everything doesn't lie in your future. It lies in the identity you choose to embody right now. Here's my challenge to you. For the next 24 hours, I want you to make every decision, from the smallest to the largest, from the perspective of your future self. Before you speak, act, or even think, ask yourself, how would the version of me who has it all handle this? Don't just think about it. Feel it. Embody it. Walk, talk, and breathe as them. Let me know in the comments what one thing you are going to do differently in the next 24 hours from this new state of being. Your declaration is a powerful signal to the universe. And listen, if this sparked something in you, if you felt a deep resonance with this truth, then you absolutely cannot afford to miss the video that's about to pop up on your screen. In it, I'm revealing a powerful 5-minute energetic anchoring technique that you can use anytime you feel yourself slipping back into your old identity. This is the exact tool that will help you make this shift permanent, not just a fleeting moment of inspiration. Your future is not something you find, it's something you embody. Don't let this clarity fade. Your higher self is calling, and it's time to answer. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because your journey to master manifestation through identity and make the quantum self shift permanent starts now, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way.